All right, Warriors, Patriots, and Preppers. I want to talk to you about kind of an analysis we should all be doing. This is part of prepping. It's part of the planning phase. We should all be taking account of where we're at with this current SHTF situation that we're all in. Obviously, if you've been prepping for a while, this is what you prepared for. This is part of what we were worried about, right? A global pandemic, maybe the economy ramifications long term are a little more different than we were anticipating them to be. I know that's my number one thing. So got a list here of things that I think we should be focused on as the country reopens, things that we should maybe think about. How were we prepared? How were we not prepared? What we could do better next time, what we need to do better, what we have the opportunity to do better. Number one for me is financial preparedness. I don't I have some money saved up. I have some good financial strategies in play, but they're not the ones I think I want going forward. Just because I think the whole world just got turned upside down. A lot of stuff proven about how fragile everything is. Like, I'm no longer going to be doing my 401k. I'm out. I don't want to be involved with these banks anymore. I'm going to really think hard about how I leverage credit cards versus paying for cash for certain things. I think there's a lot to be said for good credit and using your credit cards wisely and leveraging them to put yourself in a better position. But some of those strategies that I implemented over the years, I'm going to really be reconsidering and thinking about if they're the same strategies I want going forward in like a post-COVID world, because nothing like this has happened in our lifetime, and we've got to see how the markets respond, how the country responds, how the banks respond, how the people respond. One thing I know I'm going to do is some of these companies who've worked with us and have put us in a better situation and really cared about us, those are companies I'm going to continue to do my business with. The companies who were hard-headed and who didn't want to help and didn't make it easy for you, knowing that you got furloughed or knowing if you had circumstances that really prevented you from working, those companies I'm not going to be dealing with anymore, and I'm going to make sure it's known what those companies are as this stuff pans out. One of them for sure is going to be Sprint. They're the most unreasonable company that we dealt with during this whole COVID thing, and just having a couple payments deferred and a couple things pushed back. I was really surprised how well the mortgage companies worked with us. I didn't defer my payments. It's something I may do still, just to have a little bit more cash on hand in case I got to buy some more stuff. But my food preps, I'm happy with the way those panned out. We didn't really tap into any of our food supply that we had on hand. We tapped into a couple of like these emergency containers we had here just to see, because we stored them back 6 years ago. Hey, this pandemic's going on. Let's open up this bag of rice to see if it's still even good. So then it'll give us an assessment of whether the other stuff we stored up was going to be ready or not. So, my food, I felt like I did good. PPEs, right? That's a big thing right now. I feel like I stocked up a decent amount. I rushed out to the store and bought a whole bunch early February because I knew this was coming. I knew the window was shortening to go get this stuff. So I bought a whole bunch more, and I've been using it, and it's hugely benefited me to not already have had some on hand ahead of time, but just paying attention to the news, being a prepper, being wise about what was going on, to be able to go out and buy some. I got a family of 6, so it's a lot of PPE gear that we need. I do have NBC gear that we didn't open, we didn't tap into, but I think I definitely want to look at as hopefully things go back to normal. I don't think they will, but if they do, buying more filters for that, because as this cascades into the country reopening, everything kind of slowly going back to normal, they're still going to have economy struggles. And I think one of the quickest, easiest ways to get us out of these economy struggles is going to be to go to World War III with China and their nuclear threat. So having my NBC gear tightened up and ready to go is going to be very key. Entertainment. If these lockdowns keep happening and we don't end up going to World War III or anything like that, feel like in terms of entertainment, we have a very good collection of videos, DVDs. The power's still on, the internet's still up, so just keeping ourselves entertained has been pretty easy for the most part. I think in terms of SHTF scenarios or events, this is one of the easiest ones we probably could have ever dealt with, right? So I might want to invest in a couple other things, let the kids get a couple new games, maybe invest in a couple of like series, different DVD series and stuff that we can sit through and watch through. One other thing I definitely want to work on as we go forward is getting a home gym. I wanted to do a home gym, but the cost benefit analysis didn't really make a lot of sense to me, because the gym membership is it's 24-hour gym. It's a Crunch Fitness. It's only $10 a month. I don't have to keep stuff on hand. I don't have to maintain stuff. The cost benefit analysis just seemed to make way more sense just to spend $10 a month going to a gym. Didn't ever think that gyms were going to close during a pandemic or anything like that. It's never something that crossed my mind. Obviously, it makes sense if they're trying to slow the spread and all that stuff. But having a home gym would have been very, very beneficial in the long run. Would have helped with not going stir crazy and all that stuff. So, going to be investing in a home gym. That's something that I feel like I failed at, kind of in terms of preparedness. I have some stuff, heavy bag, weights ranging from 3 pounds to 30 pounds, but definitely just wanted more. Should have got more. Comms and communication, I think, are something that I need to do a little bit better on, or I need to practice with. I have some Baofangs, I got some walkie-talkies, but using those and getting a little more proficient with them is going to be key going forward, especially if they're using our phones to track where and when we're going. And I think that stuff like that's going to ramp up a lot if we go into a second or third wave of the pandemic. And then what happens when all these bills come due? Okay, that's something I need to assess and I need to figure out still too, because I don't know I got friends who, and myself, I got, car payments I deferred for 2 months. I have people who defer their mortgage for 3 months. Okay, so we gave ourselves a little bit of a window until 2-3 months from now when all these bills come due. And what happens then? If everybody's not back to work, everyone went back to work, the second wave hit, they're not deferring payments anymore, they're not working with people anymore. I mean, what happens when those bills become due? Is a lot to think about. And those are some of the assessments I'm doing right now, and I encourage you to assess, where you're at in terms of all the different avenues of your preparedness in this situation. Like, how well did you do? How well are you doing? What could you have done better? Put it down on paper, so you can see it, you can look at it, you can go back at a later date and check it out. I'm also gonna really encourage you guys to be brave and to go out there and not be scared of what's going on. We prepare to not be scared, but we got to make sure that we take account for how well we're doing and how well we didn't do, so it makes it that much easier on us going forward. So thanks for watching.